us viewers of India today?
I would certainly like to share, say for example, this Microcon 2013 that we had here. We did have an introspection as to what diagnostics do we make available for a common man. And then we do make a distinction of tertiary care centers and the community health. We make a distinction in that because the two are at two different levels. So we did deliberate upon the diagnostics that are available for ICU cares, high risk patients, organ transplants and things like that. And then at the community level, what has happened to diagnosis to TB, to malaria, to pneumococcus causing pneumococcal pneumonias. These are some of the things that we wanted to discuss threadbare.
And how this Microcon 2013 is going to help a common man?
You see, all conferences world over, when you look at them, they are basically to exchange views and ideas amongst the various scientists across the country and across the globe. And it is a program that attracts most of the delegates for this kind of a deliberation when you are into this kind of an activity. It is a purely scientific feast which we all try and devour and try and later on use it as and when it is required. And the main issue is how are we stay useful as a scientific community across the globe. That is the main aim of these kind of congregations.
So one more thing we want to add is one of the key articulations of doctor was how a diagnostic institute or a clinician can identify a particular infectious disease in lower cycle times. Maybe you want to actually...
Yeah, that's the turnaround time.
Turnaround time, yeah.
What you are trying to say is the turnaround time.
Yeah.
And that is actually you hit the nail on the head. That is the crux of the issue. And every discussion boils down to turnaround time. Mm-hmm. As to how quickly or how late I can tell, and does it make a difference?
True.
So the thing is, we know as quickly a diagnosis is made and as quickly a most appropriate therapy is started, the mortality gets half, 50%.
Okay.
It's no literature.
Decreases by over 50%.
Half, 50%.
Okay, awesome.
So this is very, very remarkable, outcome studies that have shown us. So we have nothing, no doubts in our mind that we have to work for decreasing this turnaround time.
So
whatever little possible. But then the things are, you see, biology is a science which you cannot change the nature. We try to mimic nature. We try and poke it and try and reduce things by making some devices that pick them up as quickly as possible with biosensors and things like that. So the newer machines on which I did deliberate here yesterday was a technology like MALDI-TOF, in which we come to know once we grow an organism overnight, in 5 minutes of time, I can say with 99.2% of certainty that is it Staph aureus or is it Klebsiella pneumoniae. These are the commonest bugs that we see for infections.
True.
And similarly, say it is Pseudomonas or whether it is E. coli or it is Acinetobacter. Why I am naming these are the organisms that are most prevalent in high care settings, ICU settings. Streptococcus pneumoniae again is in the community. So within 5 minutes after growing that organism, I know it is difficult to grow, but once it is grown for certainty, you can immediately say this is Streptococcus pneumoniae and this is where the treatment which we know is presumptive and you can immediately start the treatment. And as I said, 50% mortality goes down.
True.
Same is true when you talk of, this is again for tertiary care centers. Tertiary care centers, that is Candida, which is coming up in a big way, particularly for our tropics like Candida tropicalis, and most inappropriate therapies currently in high care settings is because of yeast infections, particularly Candida tropicalis. And the mortality goes up not because they are very virulent, because they are not detected very early. As I said, if you detect at the early and the detection is correct, you use the correct therapy, the mortality will go down. It's not that the Candida has become totally different, but if we take time, in diagnosing Candida tropicalis, which is very common in high risk surgeries, transplants, or in, say, a guy coming to ICU and staying for a long time in ICU and maybe a nosocomial infection.
So in terms of affordability and in terms of actually the expandability, I mean the occurrence of or the availability of these tools and techniques and technology, how far we are away from where it's universal?
You see, we had just had a lecture, particularly how to handle tuberculosis, and the latest tools have reached at the grassroots level with the effects of with the help of various NGOs like FIND that we had a lecture right now, and they gave a huge experience of this country with around maybe more than 100,000 samples and 100,000 patients of TB that they have actually got into, and they have actually done a yeoman service. But our problem is anything that gets onto a project mode, and it gets stabilized in the country, say 70, 80 or 100 laboratories they standardize, they are having the funds from endowments from various companies and blah blah. But the moment it gets from the funding mode, it gets onto the government mode. That is where the whole problem starts, because funding cannot be endless. At one point of time, it has to stop, and that is where the whole damn thing gets serious.
Is Indian government providing sufficient funds for research?
Indian government has a lot of funds. There is no problem in funds, but the only thing is the means. As to how many good projects do come up. I again said, whenever anything is in the project mode, the funding is there. But this has to go on to a regular phase.
True. Commercialization.
Commercialization, it has, or not only commercialization, the government of India has to have a program by which it can internalize these kind of projects that are found to be good and have made difference in the community. So unless they adopt them, the sustainability of this is not there. The sustainability of this project is doubtful.
And how is the progress of India compared with other European countries like Germany in the field of microbiology and research?
Say again?
How is the progress level of research in microbiology and other in scientific research terms with compared with Germany and other European countries?
You see, our scientists are nowhere lacking. Nowhere lacking. Whether it is nowadays, I am talking of in this 21st century, the technologies are already reached. It's a matter of how much of Government of India funding gets into it, and how much of programs are started in the country in adopting all those kind of programs. There is, I have no doubt in my mind that the scientists in India working in this field are perfectly trained to take on these kind of technologies.
And what role do organizations like Sir Gangaram and related organizations do and can help in fostering two things? First is the basic research, and then taking that basic research to general acceptability and availability to the common person.
No, you see, you have taken the name of Sir Gangaram Hospital. I do not know how much you know about it. This is one of the philanthropic hospitals that has no endowments.
Precisely, I do.
It has no endowments from any religious organizations or Government of India. It is self-sustained as a module in its own and purely run by doctors. And around 20 to 18 to 20% work is done totally free.
True.
And in that scenario, we are sustaining programs that we find are good, and we are the first to acquire the latest technologies that can deliver and can make a difference in patient treatment. So those are all outcome-oriented investigations, technologies that we acquire, and we take pride in getting the technologies first in the country.
So in sustaining and making it
So
available to general public,
obviously,
you guys actually are
absolutely, absolutely. And we do find that these actually help a common man.
And thank you, sir, for sharing your views.
You're welcome.
Thank you.